Welcome to Graveyard Ship Sports. We are your hosts, Josh and Missy Graves, and there's not too much to yap about this week, to be honest.
No, pretty
So
quiet week.
we're just gonna have to see how it goes. One thing that has been on my mind a lot over the past few days, unfortunately, um, this whole 100 men versus one gorilla debate. You've really given me a lot to think about,
Yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the nunchuck scenario that you laid out is, while incredibly violent, it seems like a viable
Possibility.
argument
Possibility.
do you want to like lay it out for everybody?
Yeah, so my take on the 100 men versus one gorilla is that you gotta have some like caveats in here because I've been told the question as the men have no fear, and if that's the case, 100 men solo like they wipe the gorilla for sure.
I
But
don't think no, not necessarily.
well, because
Just because they
gorillas,
don't have fear doesn't mean they're gonna like work together effectively to
that's true, but
defeat
the
an
gorilla
enemy.
gorillas tire out quickly. They're known for like 1 minute burst of energy. I've done some research here.
You've done quite a bit of research, apparently. I,
So
I wasn't aware that gorillas had
yes,
this weakness.
yes. So with that being
Okay.
said, endurance wise,
Yeah.
humans will outlast the gorilla in that aspect. But then you can take that into account. What if neither side runs out of energy for this entire fight? And then I kind of go back to the gorilla because to your point, unless the men work together for this,
Mm-hmm.
the gorilla could just like run in a straight line and just knock out a bunch of guys and then just continually do that. And yeah. Also, with all the like online simulations that have been run, the gorilla always wins. But that's taking into account that there's no strategy on the men's side and the gorilla has no like lack of energy. Like he
Well,
stays
who
energized the whole
are the
time.
men? Are they just 100 random men? Because then I don't think they're gonna make it very far, to be
See, that's
honest.
another thing. If it's 100 average Joes, no shot. But if you get 100 Brock Lesnar's out there, I think they for sure beat him.
It's like it really depends. Like if you get 100 like Marines out there, I think that they're gonna win. But they have training, like
Yeah.
they're prepared for these stressful scenarios.
Well, and so that's where, like if endurance isn't an issue with the gorilla or the men, could the gorilla just spin in a circle? And then even though the Marines are trained, they can't get close enough to the gorilla because it's got an 8 foot wingspan. So it can just spin in a circle, and anytime somebody comes close to it, it just demolishes them.
How tall are these gorillas?
Average height standing is 5.5 foot to 6.5 foot
That's it?
with a 8 foot wingspan. But if you were to have them try and bench press, they can bench like 3 to 4 thousand pounds.
So
Pretty
many pounds.
pretty decent. So yeah, so my thought is that like if fear isn't taken out of the equation,
Hmm.
the gorilla is gonna mow through like the first 30 people. And more than
Yeah.
likely the other 70 are gonna run away.
It's gonna instill more
Especially
fear in the rest of the people because they're gonna be like, oh shit, there goes Chad,
yeah. And this goes back to
you
what
know?
you brought up at the beginning of this is what if the gorilla uses Chad as a nunchuck? Okay?
Yeah.
You're already intimidated because you just watched Chad get killed. But now
Hmm.
Chad is a nunchuck for the gorilla, and that just
Hmm.
adds a whole new complexity here
It's just a whole layer of violence.
into the fear aspect of
Hmm.
it. So
Okay.
I feel like you gotta, based on what the scenario is with its,
Yeah.
yeah,
Based on what this scenario is.
based on
I
the
know we need
settings
we need
applied.
more we need more information about the logistics of this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, other things that have been going on this week. We're trying to figure out the logistics, speaking of logistics, of us playing golf as my punishment. I feel like it's gonna have to be like a few, there's gonna be layers to this because I just can't go out and play 18 holes. Like I don't, it's not gonna go well.
No.
if we do
As
that. So
I also don't think you play 18. I think you play 9. I don't think we
we'll
need to
see.
put you out there for five, 6 hours.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll start at the I guess the driving range, yeah. We'll start at the driving range
Yeah.
and
You
go
got
from
some
there.
practice reps in today.
I did. Not very effective because Blue kept so we were hitting the ball for the dogs with the golf club in the backyard, as you do.
As you do.
And but Blue kept freaking getting in the way. He stands right in front of you, and then like you can't hit it because you're gonna hit him in the face. But other than that, you know, we found ways to work around it, and
Yeah,
I hit it a, a lot.
you did.
I did.
You topped it a few times, but
I don't know what that
we all
means.
do that.
What does that mean?
Top it is where you don't get underneath the ball with the club, you hit the top of it. So, like, say this is your ball, your impact is like up here with the bottom of your club rather than scooping
I
underneath.
mean, so what I'm hearing is I still hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just not perfect contact. Baby steps, though. We'll
I
get
still
there.
hit it.
Yeah, still hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else exciting that happened this week? I don't think so.
We were gonna have a huge baseball weekend, and
We
that
were,
did
and then
not
we had a
happen. So,
huge rain weekend.
yeah. So Friday
So,
night we were supposed to go to the Tennessee baseball game. It was supposed to start at 6:30, and then Friday morning they moved the start time back to 5:30. So they moved it up, I guess is how that would go.
but
But
not really
then
exciting.
it started pouring outside, and we're looking at the radar. We're still at home. It's like
Mm-hmm.
4:30, and we're like, okay. I mean,
Nothing's happening.
just a line of yellow and red coming through. So we opted to go to Fresh Market, and then stayed in and watched our TV show that we've been watching here recently, Only Murders in the Building.
Only Murders in the Building.
Shout out,
Fantastic show.
great show.
Fantastic show.
If
Didn't
you
think
love
I
a
was gonna
murder
like it.
mystery that has
Even
like,
if you don't love a murder, I'm not like a murder mystery gal, I was
yeah,
like, that's not my thing. I love this show. It's like somehow they made it cozy.
I think it's because of like it's not serious, like
Yeah.
they're investigating a murder, but the
Yeah.
whole time they're like cracking jokes and like credit to Steve Martin and Martin Short. I feel like they do a good job with their roles of like the
Yeah.
clueless old people,
The
like
sweet old guys.
yeah, and then you've got
Yeah.
Selena Gomez that's just like trying to keep them in line the whole time. It's a good
Uh-huh.
show.
It's a good show.
Yeah,
It's a good show.
I highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we opted to do that instead, which was the right move.
It was.
We were justified in our decision because Tennessee ended up
Mm-hmm.
not getting to play the game. It got postponed until Saturday morning. And then that brings us to Saturday,
Oh my God. I
where
forgot
we were,
about Saturday morning.
yeah. So Saturday morning, normal morning, woke up, made breakfast, made some coffee, went and swam. And then after we left swimming, we needed to go to Lowe's so that we could try and finish our above ground planter that we had been working on for almost a month at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We have been waiting for over 2 weeks to try and get the boards needed to finish the project. However, cedar not available. You can't buy it in store. You can't order it. You can't get it. So uh, we went to Lowe's. We walked around for a while. We went and talked to a couple different departments. Ultimately came up short. So then we left to go get some more coffee because after that we needed to, re-energize a little bit.
We
Really,
needed a pick me up because we were mad.
it took a
We were
toll.
just, yeah, emotionally distraught.
But the anger was compounded because I called Lowe's to try and place the order because that's what one of the people told me in the lumber department.
Mm-hmm.
So I called to place the order because doing it online wouldn't let you order it to the store. Well, then they tell me that
Mm-hmm.
like the part number doesn't even exist anymore, and I'm like, "What are you talking?" I was literally staring at where
Yeah.
it's stocked at in the store, and they were like, no, we like show a pending order, but we don't have an ETA on that order at all. I can't order it to the store. I can't do anything with the SKU number. So I guess that project's on hold for a little bit unless we can
Guess
find some 4x4 rough cedar somewhere else or
two
2
by
by 4
four.
rough cedar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but that was that. And then we
So
got coffee.
frustrating.
Coffee
Yeah.
was good.
Then we went to PetSmart and we spent a lot of money on dog food because somebody, I'm looking at him over there, has allergies. Anyway. And then we were supposed to go to another baseball game
Yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Which that one we at least made it into the park for. We made it
Yeah.
to the game. New
It
Smoky
was
Stadium, by the
pouring
way.
the whole
Super
time,
nice.
but the new Smoky Stadium, yeah, it is nice.
It was
But
also Star Wars night. That was pretty exciting. They had a
that was,
bunch of Star Wars characters
yeah,
around. A lot of people
that was
carrying
wholesome.
lightsabers.
Yeah.
We got free food basically from the buffet there. That was a
Mm-hmm.
solid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Main
Downside,
reason we still showed up was for the food.
yep, yep. You know,
Yeah,
when in doubt,
it's okay. It's worth it.
yep. Food was solid too. I
It was pretty
didn't
good.
I didn't really have
I
high
wish I'd
hopes.
gotten a hot dog. I didn't get a hot dog.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I did the barbecue like sliders, and they were good.
You didn't get the chicken
But
either.
I
So you
didn't.
just went barbecue?
Yeah. Well, and the mac and cheese and baked beans. Like, I'm not
Uh,
a psychopath, but
fair.
yeah. So anyway, that game got canceled too, and now here we are. We had all these plans and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, should have seen two baseball games this weekend on back-to-back days. We saw
Hmm.
zero. So, RIP.
It's
But
okay.
with that being said, the Smokies game, those tickets transfer to another game, so we just gotta find a new one to go to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited for
Maybe in
that
like
because
July when we finally have
yeah,
time to go.
yeah, it's pretty busy. Pretty
Yeah.
busy for us coming up.
It's okay.
That's summer though, folks. So that was the weekend. Pretty
Hmm.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of TV.
Watched a lot of TV.
Good TV though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess with that, we're done with our updates now.
Yeah.
So on to our midnight snacks. Um, so first of all, I feel like we have to talk about the NBA playoffs. We haven't been watching it as much as we should, but um, they're going on, and yeah, the Celtics are doing what the Celtics do, I guess, at least as of late.
Yeah, the
Do you have
Celtics are
anything
kind
to
of the
say?
big bad wolf this year.
Yeah.
I mean, back to back years. They're deep. They all have chips on their shoulder. Jaylen Brown got left off the Olympic team. Um, so,
Drama.
like honestly, maybe this is a hot take. I feel like they haven't really gotten a ton of hype this year. The main conversation I feel like has been around Cleveland being super good. Um,
Yeah.
so it just kind of feels like no one's really talked about the Celtics as much as they should have. But then also you got the Pacers who look pretty solid. They'll be playing the Cavs, so that'll be a fun series to watch. I have been watching the Rockets Golden State games.
Yeah.
It I like one, Steph Curry's phenomenal, especially with what he's doing at his current age. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
he's running like 6 miles on the court every single game.
A lot.
But he's just constantly like 2 man, 3 man coverage and just gets ridiculous. It's like ridiculous the amount of running he has to do just to open up a shot because of how hard they're covering him.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you're Steph Curry, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So final game for them tonight, game 7. We'll see who brings it home, finishes the series.
They
Yeah, Golden State
was it?
was I'm pretty sure was up 3-1 in this
Uh,
series, and then
yeah, and now it's
Rockets
tied
have
and
won the
down to
last
the
two.
last game. Yeah.
Yep.
Drama. We should watch that tonight. Okay. Oh, one silly little thing I wanted to talk about. Not, I guess it's like sports adjacent. So, like, have you heard about all this Bill Belichick stuff that's going on
You you
with
filled
him
me
and
in
his
on it this
girlfriend?
morning. I saw a couple tweets about it, but I hadn't really like followed it too closely. But
Yeah, so I guess he's promoting his new book. He has a new book out, and they were doing an interview for it, and at one point during the interview, they kept asking about his girlfriend, and so the girlfriend like comes in and like telling them to stop doing that, and on the surface it looks like a controlling girlfriend coming and like taking charge of a situation. So that's what it looks like on the surface, right? And that's what people are talking about. And then it come to find out, she's actually his what's the word? She's like handling the PR for the book. So like
Yeah.
she's doing her job by coming in and saying this, because I guess beforehand they had agreed like they weren't going to talk about that. They were just going to talk about focus on questions at the book, blah blah blah. So anyway, I don't know. This has taken a turn.
Yeah, he was asking about like the interviewer was asking Bill about how they met too, and they've been very
Yeah.
open that they met on a plane. They sat
Yeah.
next to each other on a plane like 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that story's been out there. So the fact
Yeah.
that like Bill Belichick had to make a statement and say like, "Hey, when we agreed to do that interview, we were upfront that the only reason I'm accepting the opportunity to do this interview with you guys is so that we can just talk about my book."
About the book.
He goes on to say that there was like 35 minutes of solid interview coverage, but for
Hmm.
whatever reason, only that like 8 minute time span of the interview is what's getting put out there uh, and published. So, but
Because that's what's gonna
I
get
mean,
people's attention, I guess.
listen,
Which is stupid.
it's you're always gonna when you date a significantly younger person than you,
Yeah.
it's going to draw attention, especially when you're the best football coach of all time in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
I won't say of all time for football because Nick Saban still exists, and
Yeah.
I think he's got
Hot
college
take.
locked down. So
Yeah.
I think you separate the two. Bill Belichick is
Hmm.
NFL, Nick Saban is college.
Even though he is college now,
Yeah, but we'll see.
but
I mean, we'll see if his game can translate over to the current college football game.
hmm,
That's a whole story in its own because everyone talks about how like being a head coach slash GM for college football these days is like it's a young man's game because you've got to recruit people to your team, but then you've got to basically keep recruiting them the whole time they're on your team. All they care about is money and everything like that.
it's
But I
exhausting.
think because him and Michael Lombardi,
Hmm.
that's who's his GM at UNC. I think because they've been upfront, like we are going to run this team like an NFL team. If you don't want
Yeah.
to make it in the NFL, don't come here. I think because they've set it up that way, they've been honest, forefront. I feel like it might work.
Probably, yeah, that's probably a good thing in this day and age.
And it's like
But we'll
I
see.
feel like I feel like for Bill Belichick to go after you as a player, you got to be a specific type of person. So I feel like he'll just
Yeah.
start stacking pieces that are that type of player.
Yeah.
But
Well,
got kind of off track here from the
yeah.
original conversation, but yeah, so his girlfriend's like 24. I think he's 72.
Something in her 20s. Yeah. Yeah.
Tad bit of an age gap there,
Just a
but
little
Bill looks
bit.
happy, you know. So
Whatever. To each their
they're
own.
both
They're both
adults.
adults.
You're allowed to make your own decisions. So,
Yeah.
but also people are allowed to have their own opinions of your decision.
Yeah, people
So
are also concerned that because he's been like he like looks disheveled a lot. Like he's wearing shirts with holes in it and stuff, but
that's
he's
him.
always done that,
He's
right?
always
So
done that.
that's
Yeah.
not, I don't know.
No, I mean, with New England, he would always go to the press conferences, say basically nothing to any of the
Yeah.
interviewers, and he'd be wearing this shirt like ton of holes. Dude's a millionaire. You'd never know if you saw him on the street.
Yeah.
That's just him though.
Yeah.
He just loves ball. Couldn't care
Yeah.
about anything else.
Good for him. Well, more sideline news. So like right after last week on the show we talked about them doing an investigation to who leaked like the prank phone call that happened to Shadur Sanders.
Yeah.
Um so they obviously everyone knows that they've confirmed that it was, the Falcons defensive coordinator's son. Apparently there were other prank calls too though.
Yeah, I saw it. So they've already like the NFL's already issued the fines. It's a $250,000 fine to the Falcons and then a hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollar fine to the defensive coordinator Ulbrich. Um, And
This guy's
so
in so
with
much
that,
trouble.
yeah, they've already he already came out and had like a press conference to basically
Hmm.
publicly apologize for what happened, for a lapse of him uh like hiding the confidential information that was the phone
Yeah.
number from his son, and then also apologized on behalf of his son, basically say as this was ridiculous. Um, but with that being said, Drew Rosenhaus, who is a agent for NFL players, came out and said that other prank calls were happening. So he was representing Abdul Carter among other people for the draft this year. And so when Jacksonville traded up to number two, there was a prank phone call that went to Abdul Carter that said, "Hey, Jacksonville's going to draft you number two." Well, Jacksonville obviously drafted Travis Hunter at number two. Abdul Carter went three. So Drew Rosenhaus was like, "We knew the whole time it was going to be a fake phone call. We didn't even tell the family that he had gotten that phone call because there was
Hmm.
no reason. We knew it was fake, and we knew he was going top three anyways."
They haven't said anything about who that was though, like who made the phone call.
No, what the
Like, was it
NFL
the
said
same
is that
kids?
the NFL said that they have issued the fines, but they are still looking into other prank phone calls that they have heard rumors of happening.
What?
So I
What?
just I don't get how, you know, the whole point of these guys having the phone numbers for just the like NFL
Yeah.
teams to have it. I don't understand how these numbers are getting out so easily for other people to prank call
I don't understand why you would make the prank call in the first place. Like, this isn't,
them. Yeah,
like,
it's not one where like you call Pizza Hut on one phone and then Papa John's on the other and you
yeah,
stick them next
like
to each other.
this
Like
isn't a joke, man.
it'd be like if you did if you went to a job interview and then the job called you, and said they
Yeah.
you had the job but it was somebody else, somebody fake, then you didn't get the
Ridiculous.
job.
Absolutely ridiculous. Well, anyway, I'm interested to see, like, I wonder if, because, like, wherever the one kid got on the iPad, got the number, it's probably all in the same database, right? Or maybe not, like, the same, like, Excel sheet or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or like email or
I
something.
wonder if it all gets traced back to the Falcons coordinator, or,
I don't think it'll all go back to them. I think this is going to be like another lapse somewhere else.
yeah,
So
well,
I thought, lesson learned here. Probably put a passcode that your kids don't know on the iPad, the
I
work
don't know why
iPad
you
or
wouldn't
something.
do that in the first place, but
Yeah, it's like I have a password for my work computer. You have one.
mhm,
So
whatever.
yeah, whatever.
Oh, other fun dating news that I know everybody's gonna care about. Ice Spice and the New York Jets Sauce Gardner officially dating. Well, I guess they're like Instagram official.
So it's official, official.
I think so.
Have they made it Facebook official?
That's a great question. Is that still
Is that?
relevant?
I don't know. I was just wondering that. Like, is that still a thing that the kids do these days?
You know what? I don't think it is because you know what? We didn't even do that 4 years ago ourselves.
It's a fair point.
So
It's a
I
fair point.
think we're just old,
You know what? OG way of flirting though?
poking
Poking
each other
someone
on
on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yep. Yep.
What the heck was that? What a wild time. Did you ever have
Today's kids
MySpace?
won't know. No, I wasn't allowed
I
to have
didn't either.
MySpace.
I think we were a little too young for that.
No,
But MySpace it seemed like it was a great time.
yeah, you could put like songs on your profile page and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
just really show your personality.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I wasn't allowed to have a MySpace.
I wasn't either. I didn't even realize MySpace was like I didn't even know what MySpace was. So here we are. Bring
Tom, the
MySpace
guy,
back.
everybody's friend on MySpace, he was the guy that made it.
Yeah.
I think he's like a professional photographer now or something. He's living his best life.
Okay. Career change.
Yeah, no, sold
All right.
MySpace, made millions of dollars, and then
Living his best life.
yeah, just followed his
Doing
dream.
whatever he wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that that's the American dream right there.
Well, anyway, back to the point. This dating news for Ice Spice really, I just feel like it's looking good, for her friendship with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she was like first seen like in the box with Taylor Swift, people were like, they're friends. But I think they're like actually really close, which is,
I,
I love it. I love to see it. I want to
I
see
did
more of
not,
it.
because you saying that their friendship with Taylor Swift is looking solid. Didn't know they were friends.
Oh no, like she was off like in the box with Taylor like more than once.
I feel like I only ever saw Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds up there, but also like I'll be
You definitely
honest.
did. It was when the one time, well, one of the times when she got booed and they both like Ice
Oh,
Spice
it's
was sitting next to her and they both like looked at each other and just started laughing. I was like, wait, am I aging myself by doing that? How do you?
throwing up gang signs right now.
No, it's the this is old. We're old by doing this, right? The old school heart. You got to do it like some like this.
Your camera is cut out on my side, so I think they're censoring you. I think that's what's happening.
Are they?
Oh, you're
Well, we'll
back.
see if any of that made it. It said something about hand gestures, and I was like, I was just making a heart.
Yeah, I think they're gonna censor you again here.
They think I'm doing something suspicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited for whatever this means for Ice Spice and Taylor Swift.
Hashtag friends.
I think that's about it. Is there
Yeah.
anything else
No, no,
you
there's
wanted to talk about?
not a ton going on. I mean, you've got playoff hockey, but the Preds
Mm-hmm.
are knocked out. They didn't even make it to the playoff hockey.
Yeah.
So I haven't really watched a ton of that, but it does sound like Florida Panthers are potential gonna win it back to back years.
Mm. Well,
They
good
just
for
beat
them.
the Tampa Bay Bolts, so I'm sure Carson is upset down there in Florida. He's a huge Bolts fan. That was
Send
what
them a
made him leave
care
us.
package.
Hmm?
What? Hockey made him move?
Well, yeah, because Tampa Bay, the Bucks, won the Super Bowl that year,
Oh, yeah.
and then his second favorite
Yeah.
sport is hockey. So
Oh,
when
I
the
didn't know that.
Lightning won the Stanley Cup that year, he was like, okay. It was like literally before the playoffs even started, he was like, if the Lightning win this, I'm moving back home. And then they won, and then he moved. So
It's meant to be.
I think he was going to move anyways,
Yeah, he
but
just needed a push. Well, that's about it for midnight snacks. We do have a little bit of girl dinner, women's sports news. So WNBA is in their preseason, and Paige Beckers made her and WNBA debut. They lost that game, but she scored 10 points.
nice.
Yeah,
There you go.
and she is a favorite for Rookie of the Year already, apparently. So
Very nice. Very nice.
yeah, and then I'll give you one guess as to who's the favorite for MVP.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch the WNBA. I do actually want to pay attention to that and follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You need to
with
pick a
all of our
team.
free time that we have.
Pick a team on who you want to cheer for.
I don't want to pick a team. I just want to, well, yeah, I don't know who to pick. We'll have to figure out a way to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark plays for the Fever. I think the Aces have been pretty solid for a while now.
Yeah, I think that's who the Dallas Wings played. Paige's team is the Aces.
You know what? Maybe the Aces aren't great because that means they had the number one overall pick. So that means they were the worst team last year.
No, the Wings have the number one overall pick with of Paige Beckers. The Wings played the Aces, and the
Oh,
Aces
okay.
won.
I thought you were saying that Paige was on the
No, no,
Aces.
no, no. They played the Aces.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I think the Aces are good then.
I'm glad we settled this.
Yep. Settled the hoopla there.
All the hoopla.
All the
Hoopla.
hoopla.
Hoopla. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have any spicy snacks? You kind of
No, I
teased
think
one earlier.
what?
You said that Nick Saban's the best coach in all of college football. I don't know if that's a spicy snack, though, to be honest.
No, I think that
I think that's
is
just like real life,
solidified.
you know?
I mean,
Anyone who lives in reality should see that. Yeah.
I'm sure you could go back to like some Ivy League school that won 20 championships back in the 1800s and argue that that guy was the best head coach.
1800s.
But for modern day football, with, you know, everything that was happening, although I'm sure some people will take it as a hot take because they'll be like, oh, well, Alabama was paying players. Nah, discredits what they did there. It was the fact
Yep.
that it wasn't like 1 year, like,
It was a whole era.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
look back at like basically what Florida did with Tebow for those 4 years that he was the quarterback down there, and they had a ridiculous team. That's what Saban did, but for 16 straight years. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
pretty nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would have to agree, unfortunately. Even though I hate
Oh, we need to
Alabama.
talk about the race that occurred yesterday. Kentucky Derby occurred.
Oh, okay.
And believe it or not, a horse did win that race. So,
What?
yep, that's
Oh.
about all I got on it. I had
You heard
boots
it
on the
here
ground.
first, folks.
Yeah, boots on the ground reconnaissance, though. It was very wet there, and the track was extremely muddy from what I saw.
Well, it's been raining cats and
Shout out,
dogs.
shout out my sideline reporter, Davis Vincent, on that news.
Yeah. Thanks,
Who
Davis. You're a real
also,
one.
give him another shout out, he is now an official pharmacist. So that's crazy. It's
A big deal.
pretty exciting stuff there. So
Finally done with school. A
finally
million
done with
years
school.
later. Yeah. Well, that's about it. Anything else to say, Josh?
No, we covered it. I mean,
Told you
that
it
was
was
the big
it was
Kentucky Derby
a
news. Couldn't believe that a horse won that race. So
horse one. Who would have thought? Not me.
who would have thought? Not me. Not me.
Not me.
Nope.
Not me. Well, with that,
Thanks for listening, everybody.
thanks for listening. It was a short one this week. We'll
Woo!
see you next week. Bye.
Bye.